sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Corey Sandin in here. Rock Cod Rick's taking a little time off after the big day yesterday for Tackle Day.
Busy day.
We have a great show for you today. Mr. Surf Fishing himself, Bill Varney, is here. We're going to be talking fishing, surfing, fishing, and all kinds of good stuff. You stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Take a closer look at the Ford F-150. You'll see hard work, a great adventure, and so much more. Inside and out, it's designed for the family, the road trip, and the most demanding job. The 2025 Ford F-150, whether it's gas, hybrid, or the all-electric Lightning, find the truck that will meet your needs. From California's best-selling truck brand, the 2025 Super Duty, the rugged Ford Ranger, and the versatile Ford Maverick. It's time to see Ford in a new light. Visit your San Diego County Ford dealer today to see the great selection across the full truck lineup.
Introducing new Power Pro Max 8 microfilament braided fishing line. It's built for offshore anglers seeking smooth casting and control. Power Pro Max 8 features an 8-carrier Spectra HT construction that cuts through current with ease for precise vertical jigging with a 25% thinner diameter. Available in white and metered 4-color for trolling spread control and precise jigging depths. It's stronger, smoother, and thinner. Power Pro Max 8 is now available at your tackle retailer.
The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Our hardworking crew will make your fishing experience one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. Fisherman's Landing is a full-service sport fishing operation offering great half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day trips on the spacious and comfortable 85-foot Liberty. With bunks for your comfort, a huge bait capacity, and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Fisherman's Landing also boasts the best captains and crews in the business, from seasoned veterans to our young future legends. All our open party trips from half-day, full, or 1 to 3 day trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, and fun show today, man. I'm looking forward to
really
it.
fun. Yeah, big day yesterday, right? You were selling baits like that twin-tailed MC
the fluke
baits like crazy.
Yeah, that's
the resurgence of the old bait.
It's so crazy, man. Lead heading a slug style lure is the deal now. Like sea bass, halibut, rockfish,
everything,
calico. I mean, everything eats them. And the cool thing is to understand that same concept with a 7-inch all the way down to a 4-inch for bay fishing.
No kidding.
Yeah, so that's just wrap your mind. It'd work on largemouth too.
Yeah,
it does.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean fluke style lures.
So why did it go away?
I think it's something like Bill can understand. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning.
Yeah, appreciate you being in the studio.
Thank you, Corey.
It's a technique that is difficult to explain,
but
it is extremely fishy. And once you understand and you get bit, it's a no-brainer. Yeah. But it's difficult to convey without the production and catching. Once you start catching, that's why the Channel Islands. I mean, we don't need to talk about the whole slug thing, but it's just
let's talk about the slug thing more. I've things to say about the slug thing.
Yeah.
Corey, I do a report every week on surf fishing, and I get dozens of reports from people. I get texts, I get emails, I talk to tackle shops, all that stuff. And up and down the coast, when we talk about halibut fishing this summer in particular, there've been so many halibut and white sea bass caught on white slugs, white swim baits,
or flukes. I mean,
white flukes.
There's so many national brands that make a fluke. You know what I mean? From whatever, Bass Assassin, Strike King.
Exactly.
There's 20 brands that make it. They
But
work.
they're not hand poured in
That's it.
Corey's garage.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly. With smelty colors. I mean, that's
That's right.
kind of the cool part. Right?
But you know, Corey, what I've learned is a buddy of mine is a diver. He doesn't fish at all. He's a big diver. He's like the massive halibut diver. I've never known anybody who's got so many halibut in his life, spear fishing, diving. And so he takes videos and some pictures of when he goes down and goes halibut fishing. And he says, Bill, knowing nothing about fishing, says every time I go down and I see the eggs of squid, which attach often to pieces of kelp, rock, the bottom, anywhere around those areas. And those are like tubes. They almost look like the slug.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. He says, I will always find halibut and big ones around there.
So do the halibut eat those eggs?
They eat those eggs. The halibut eat those eggs, and they congregate near those eggs, and they eat, they digest, they go back and eat them again. And he said most of the time he sees the halibut moving at these, you know, neap tide periods where it's either peak high tide or peak low tide, where there's very little current in there. And then they'll go feed on those eggs, and then they'll go back to their sand area and bury themselves. So there's no question that the white fluke, the white swim bait, the white hand pour bait, all of those work, and that's why.
But along with surf fishing, which is your forte, Bill, is grunion. And, and so with a fluke and that, I even made a drop shot bait 20 years ago, Pete. Wrap your mind around 20 years ago. Actually named it the drop shot bait for drop shotting the halibut.
Drop
in the
shot
surf.
was even a thing.
It really was not. No, Berkeley picked it up and ran nationally with it, right?
Right.
At that time. I mean, we're talking seriously 18, 20 years ago. And so that drop shot bait I made 20 years ago has come full circle. It's a badass looking little bait fish lure. It's a full bodied with a tail, but the fluke tails are laying like they would flat on the table. But the drop shot bait has the tail vertical, like a live bait.
And you still pour those,
dude? I brought them.
Yeah,
I sold a ton of them because it's the same. It's a 5-inch lure. It's the same pattern.
And drop shot works great in the bay.
Oh, dude,
absolutely.
In the surf. I mean, that's what we
surf, bay, off the rocks, pier. I mean,
we talked a lot about it yesterday. And
so how big of a sinker are you putting on the bottom?
Well, I don't. It's almost difficult to discuss because you won't wrap your mind around it. I'm going to shock you. You're sitting down. That's a good thing. I use 20-pound braid, Power Pro, straight to the hook, which is super light. I never tie braid straight to the hook with anything, nothing. But that I do because I'm using a 5/0 hook, a pretty sizable hook. It's almost a gaff hook. So, and typically the long shanked hook, and for a sinker line, 24-inch or so or better, 2 feet or better, because think of the geometry of your cast.
You're at an angle
at 3 feet of water, at a cast length. And you want your offering 12 inches off the bottom, right? So it's pretty long. I mean, it could be 3 feet, but that would be on the long end. 1 ounce torpedo.
Whoa.
Yes.
Wow.
I know it's kind of a shocker, but
and a chrome torpedo if you can find
well,
one.
You could, right?
Are you using mono to connect the bait to the sinker so it breaks away?
Yes.
Okay.
And the vertical eye is super important because you want everything to be up and down vertically clean, so that your main line tied to the hook and your sinker line tied to the hook are all in line.
So a vertical eye, meaning not the standard flat eye to the
look at the Gamakatsu Superline swim bait hook.
Yeah.
And that's a vertical up and down eye. Now, the 1 ounce torpedo is only for your anchor. So you can twitch and work the bait in the zone without moving the sinker. That's it. Just that's the whole
and that's
concept.
why the sinker has to be so heavy versus like a 1/4 ounce.
Yeah, or half
because
ounce.
It access that or half ounce.
Half ounce would be
that anchor.
Because you're not moving it.
Yes, and half ounce would
and
be,
it's allowing you to twitch your bait without pulling it along at the same time.
It's a deadly surf technique, deadly.
Yeah.
And
we're not supposed to tell all these tricks and
why not?
secrets.
Well, the hard bait thing, and Bill can convey this whole thing too. The hard jerk bait in the surf has become like the deal. Gundy Gunderson. Do we have Gundy today?
Yeah.
Our surf report. We'll talk about it too.
Absolutely.
But there are times where the surf, and Bill can say it, the surf grass can be a pain in the rear,
Absolutely.
but not drop shotty and weedless.
Yeah.
That's
Because
not a
right.
pain.
Their bait is weedless.
Yes, everything.
Yeah.
So does the same apply in the bay? I mean, use the same.
You could
technique?
100%.
Or
Yeah.
are you using a smaller sinker?
No, the you really want that 1 ounce. It seems heavy, but that 1 ounce and a torpedo sinker specific because it comes up and over things cleanly, weedless.
Yeah.
And the 1 ounce because you have an anchor point to twitch and work your bait without moving the sinker. That's the whole technique.
Okay.
Yes. Hey,
Do you use that, Bill?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yep.
Is he letting
And
out
of course, that's a
is he
freshwater
letting out your
technique too.
secrets?
No, this is his secret that he taught me that I employ.
and honest to God, Pete, 18 to 20 years ago.
That's right.
Seriously.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that long ago. But it's come full circle. It's a fishy technique.
It is, you know, that those white flukes and stuff like that. It's like the paisley tie of fishing equipment. It was like popular 40 years ago. The paisley tie is coming back. So you never know that everything goes in a circle. I think the only thing that stayed around forever has got to be the cedar plug.
Yeah, right.
Other things have made circles.
Yeah.
You know?
The one thing I want to mention before we move on is I did have some of those drop shot baits. I had a handful of colors left over from yesterday that I will be taking. Dana Landing already has some. Seaforth and then for sure Fisherman's Landing will have some by Monday. How about that?
The drop shot bait.
By tomorrow. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You'll
So
take
so
them over there.
if you're listening, you're curious, you just want to lay your
You wanna
eye on
get
one.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll
And
be
they
there.
have the hooks, both Dana Landing and Fisherman's
For sure.
Landing have
Yes.
the proper hooks and stuff. And those guys will dial you in.
Yeah. But how
Yeah.
cool was yesterday, Bill? Getting to connect with people.
Oh,
and-
it's great. It's so great to see people. And you know, there were so many great vendors
Busy
down
day.
there. Busy day. It was a beautiful day too. What
Yeah.
a beautiful day yesterday. It was cool in the morning. The sun came
Yeah.
out, and so many great people down there, and so many great vendors down there. And it was so good to see the CalStar folks and some of their pulling some of their new rods and so
Yeah.
forth. So it was really a great time for everybody. And
Yeah.
we had a really good turnout for the surf fishing on the back of the Tomahawk. I really want to thank David again for letting me use his boat and getting some goop on.
You had
on
a
it.
bunch of people there.
Yeah, we had probably 25 to 40 people. I didn't count them, but lots of great people. And it was so neat because we could fill up all the bait wells and then put all of our individuals, you know, we had sand crabs floating in one of them. We had ghost shrimp, we had lugworms, bloodworms, mussel, all these different
Wow.
things. So we showed how each one of those are hooked, how they're prepared, how to fish them at the beach. And people were taking notes, videos, and just having a great time. It's so great getting the information out there. And I get so stoked because I tell them, like, you know, go out there, use this stuff. And then when you go down to the beach, send me fish reports.
Right.
So I not only, you know, the things have changed so much nowadays. I not only get, you know, emails or text or whatever, but people will FaceTime me, quote unquote, from their phone on the beach and say, hey, I'm at Newport. Here's what the water looks like. Should I fish to the left or the right? I mean, it's incredible. And I might be at the time sitting in Colorado in the middle of the mountains in the middle of a snowstorm.
Yeah.
And I'm looking right at the water,
at the
telling them where
beach.
to fish. And I see them catch a fish. It's an amazing time that we live in.
And I think the whole surf fishing, we call it maybe a shore pound culture.
Yeah.
It could be the, 11, 12-year-old Groms. It could be
exactly.
it could be the 50-year-old Grom like myself out there.
Right, or
having
it
a
could
great
be the
time.
80-year-old. I have
Yeah.
a lot of folks that
yeah.
are elderly who've surf fished.
And so what were some of the key points that you taught yesterday?
Well, you know, some of the key points would be, first of all, how to properly hook the bait. So, for example, with a ghost shrimp, most people say I don't like fishing with ghost shrimp because when I go to cast it, like half of it lands on top of my head
Yeah.
and the other half is over here on the shore. So when you learn how to correctly, properly, what hooks to use, like a kale hook or a long shank worm hook to hook it with, it allows you to go through the body of it and then exit between its legs, the carapace of its body, which is the hardest part. So you can give it a nice, good cast. Worms, for example. Most people think of worms as if I'm fishing for a trout somewhere. I'm going to snip off a third of my worm and put it on my hook and throw it out there. We would never do that in the surf. If I was to take a bloodworm and cut it in half and put it on a hook and throw it out, all the goodness inside of it would wash out in a second flat because there's a current in the ocean. We don't have a current in the lake, so we don't really have to worry about it getting washed around and everything coming out. So we hook the entire worm, and in order to do that, we put the hook, a long shank hook, down its mouth, basically, feed it all the way up the hook and then up onto our line, where we only have maybe 1 inch below the hook on a 6-inch worm, and we can catch 3 or 4 fish on the same worm.
So that's on a lugworm?
And that would be on a lugworm
where does
or a
bloodworm come from?
Lugworms were originally from Korea. And then the secret of how to grow them was stolen by the Chinese. Might have been the other way around.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
And so now they're produced in China, and they grow them in these huge, like maybe I've seen their facility. They sent me a video. It's probably half the size of the basin here.
Wow.
Gigantic. And they're these giant ponds, and they have a netting system that goes in the pond. They're grown on those nets. And then they bring the nets up to the surface, and that's how they harvest them. And then every Thursday they fly them into the United States from China. They land here at LAX. They go through immigration, ICE, and all that stuff, and they make themselves their way to the tackle shops.
And so they're being grown in China solely for bait?
Yes, solely for bait.
Really? That's interesting.
How crazy! And
So
there's enough of a market for it that's
in Southern California alone, they sell 1,200 cups of them a week.
Wow.
So when you take their whole gamut of places that they sell them at, and really it's just a growing thing now.
And they're sold live. I mean, you're buying them
sold live. And they're really hardy. They last for about 2 to 3 weeks in refrigeration. And they're normally in kind of like a sawdust that they put them in. They used to put them in paper, but it wasn't working. So kind of a sawdust system that they use in these little packages, and you just need to refrigerate them. So what's so great about them is you get like a dozen for maybe $9 or so, and you go down to the beach and you use 4 or 5 of them, let's say, for fishing, and you have another half dozen left over. You just bring them home and put them in the refrigerator, and next weekend they're ready to go.
You use the whole worm?
Use the entire worm.
Wow.
And the worms are maybe 4 to 6 inches long, I would say.
And I've seen them before. They look like, and I've never touched one. I've never used one for bait, but are they as durable as a clam? I mean, they almost look like
they're pretty durable.
Yeah.
Like a bloodworm is really durable. A bloodworm's
what's the difference between a lugworm and a bloodworm?
So a lugworm is very similar to a sandworm that you would find at the beach here, which is not as strong in the sense of durable, whereas the bloodworm is a very durable worm.
Okay.
Its skin on the outside is almost like the outside skin of a sausage. You know how the sausage skin is hard and then softer inside. And so they're really good baits from the standpoint of they're very, very durable. You can cast them really hard. You can catch several fish on them before they're.
And where do bloodworms come from?
And bloodworms normally most of them come from the East Coast, so up by in the New England area. So if everybody remembers back the movie The Perfect Storm, so when that storm, which oddly enough, I was in Cancun when that storm came through, and we were in the basement for two days of the hotel. When that storm made its way up the East Coast, it wiped out all of these estuaries. So what will happen is they'll go dig in these estuaries, and they'll basically be an innkeeper worm at the top of their hole, and then below that will be all the bloodworms. And so they'll go out into the mud and they'll dig and they'll find the innkeeper, which is really the holder of the hole, take it out and then get them from in there. Well, when that storm came through, it killed so many of them that they had very few to take out and send. And the price went from like $7 a dozen to $35 a dozen.
Crazy.
And that was when the lugworms came around.
I've actually seen that on like Mike Rowe's show.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, right. And so they actually go with like pitchforks and turn over the mud in a slough,
and solely for bait.
Oh, just for bait.
But it's
no
big.
Other
it's really big on the East Coast.
It's really big, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's fish and stripers and things like that.
They have a whole community of individuals like us that would go out and harvest and sell them to. It's just like a commercial fishery. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and it really is a dirty job. I saw that, and man, they are covered with mud head to toe.
So, in Bill Varney's eyes, what's better, ghost shrimp, lugworm, or a bloodworm?
If I was on a deserted island and they sent me out there with one bait, it would be the bloodworm.
Oh, bloodworm.
The bloodworm, without question, will catch every fish in the surf, halibut to perch and everything in between it. Its durability. I mean, there's nothing better than a big, juicy bloodworm. There's just nothing better than it. So, ghost shrimp, close second for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, and especially certain times of year, they work much better. Like a bloodworm is going to work all year equally for you, whereas like a ghost shrimp, you're looking at August, September, October works really its very best this time of year right now.
Wow. Well, as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for today. A lot to talk about here with Mr. Bill Varney, surf fishing, and Corey Sandin, who's a surf fishing nut too.
Well,
I mean, he's really into it.
I just enjoy the passion.
Yeah,
I enjoy fishing, man. Come on.
Absolutely. Give me some water.
I mean, it's perfect. Yeah.
Right? And
for
if
sure.
it's ghost shrimp fishing or drop shot, whatever it is, man, we'll have fun. You want to join us today? You can do so. We're going to be on 97.3 The Fan for the full 2 hours. You want to join us? You can do so. Kyle is waiting for your call at 833-288-0973, or you can send us a text via the app. You got a surf fishing comment, question, or something for Bill, most certainly do so via the app. Make sure you do leave your name and telephone number, because at the end of the show, we're going to flip a coin. Actually, we're not flipping the coin today.
We don't need to flip a coin today. We're going to give away 2 calendars today, one to a caller and one to a texter.
Oh, perfect.
Directly to their doorstep.
The new Bill Varney
brand
2026 calendar. Here it is, right here.
2026.
If you're looking at us on Facebook or YouTube.
And in conjunction,
this is what it's going to be.
Okay, we're gonna give away a calendar.
That's great.
To each texter,
hot off the press.
To one texter and one caller.
Just pick these up.
I literally just picked those up.
We get a new 2026 Bill
Perfect.
Varney, a caller and a text.
I think they're still drying.
There it is. Exactly. They're fresh off the press. And when we do come back, give us a call, 833-288-0973. And when we come back, we're going to be talking more surf fishing with Bill Varney, the man. He actually wrote the book, believe it or not. Yep. When we come back on YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Everything about Katmai Lodge is first rate, and it should be on the bucket list of everyone who enjoys fishing. This is Brandon Bono. My visit to Katmai Lodge is an experience I will never forget. Constructed on the banks of the Alagnak River in Katmai National Park, the lodge is a fishing dream come true. The experience is incomparable. Whether bait casting, spin, or fly fishing, you'll find king, sockeye, chum, coho, and pink salmon, plus trout, grayling, char, and dolly varden. Their guides are amazing. Days are exciting and fun with hot lunches and snacks served on the river. The brown bears, bald eagles, beaver, otters, and other wildlife you see is amazing. The lodge staff is great. There's complimentary wine, beer, and appetizers before a fantastic dinner every evening. Take it from me, a trip to Katmai Lodge should be on your list. For information, visit katmai.com or call 1-800-330-0326. Once again, that's Katmai Lodge, KATMAI.com.
Power your boat with Norsk Lithium, the ultimate choice for marine adventures. Our batteries deliver unmatched starting, trolling, and electronics power, packed with cutting-edge technology like Deep Sleep to eliminate phantom draw. Built with rugged BCI-compliant cases, they're designed to handle the toughest conditions on the water. Stay in control with the Norsk Guardian app. Monitor performance, track battery health, and unlock advanced features right from your phone. Charge with confidence using Evotech onboard and DC-to-DC chargers for fast, efficient, and hassle-free power management. Designed for maximum compatibility, these chargers keep your entire system running at peak performance, so you're always ready for the next trip. With a 10-plus 2-year non-prorated warranty, you can trust your batteries to perform for years to come. Our industry-leading warranty ensures you get the most out of your investment. With dedicated customer support if you ever need it. Upgrade your marine power today. Set up your custom system at NorskLithium.com or visit Trolling Motor Doctor in Lakewood. Norsk Lithium. No matter where the adventure takes you, we've got you powered.
For local or long-range fishing, we have you covered. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. Being a part of the San Diego Sport Fishing Landing gives us a distinct advantage when it comes to getting you on the latest and hottest tackle for your trip. Our expert staff knows exactly what you need for your long-range or local trip, and we will not sell you something you don't need. We carry a huge inventory of the right tackle. So visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Anyone that's been to the Eastcape knows Smokey's Curing Company Cantina, the best food and drink in Los Barriles, and a fun place to hang out and watch your favorite sporting event. If you're lucky, you probably had Smokey's process your fish to take home. Their quality and service is top-notch. You'll see me at Smokey's Cantina hanging out with the owner, Chris, and my buddies when fishing in the Eastcape. And we always send our fish to be processed at Smokey's too. Now Chris has added one of the finest boats in the East Cape available for you to charter for a day or more of fishing. Vaquera. It's an immaculate 35 Cabo with a seakeeper and Captain Diego Romero, one of Baja's best. If you're looking for a great charter boat when fishing at Palmas, Playa, or other resorts, Vaquera, booked at BajaSmokies.com, should be your choice. So when you're headed to the East Cape, be sure to stop by Smokey's Curing Company Cantina. Send your fish to be processed there and fish aboard the 35 Cabo Vaquera. Check BajaSmokies.com for more details.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, and
Super fun show here, talking surf fishing and talking baits. I mean, Corey's here to talk about catching halibut, and it doesn't even matter what the surf. We talk about whatever you want to talk about, fishing. But Bill Varney, the surf fishing expert, is here. Super fun.
Just having a lot of fun, actually.
And the new calendar. We were just talking about the calendar, this beautiful new 2026 Bill Varney calendar that's now, when's it going to be in tackle stores?
It's going to be in tackle stores this week. It's going into all the stores in Santa Barbara to the Mexican border.
All right. It is November 2nd, so it's time to start looking for your calendar.
Absolutely.
I just turned the page on my 2025 calendar, and if you have that calendar, you see this wahoo, beautiful picture of wahoo, and notice there's no gaff.
There's no.
Tell us a story on that one.
It's a crazy story.
This is a flying wahoo. So this is the November picture is a long range picture of that's probably about a 50-pound wahoo, I would say.
At least
coming over the rail. And it wasn't coming over the rail because the angler was bouncing it. It wasn't coming over the rail because there was a gaff in it. It was coming over the rail on its own on the way to getting the angler. And he jumps out of the way at the last second, trying to reel up his slack. And on the boat, this huge fish comes.
And you can see the popper hanging out of its face.
You can see the popper hanging out.
Crazy. That's a crazy story. But yeah, when you pointed it out, it's like, oh yeah, there's no gaff hole. So somebody went over there with a club and probably hit the thing pretty hard, right? Because it's a flying wahoo. It's flying teeth, right?
That's gnarly. Right. And I've got to imagine the photographer also jumped out of the way at the last.
I mean, what an amazing picture! How did he get that picture?
That is an amazing picture, and of course he had his aperture and everything right at the right time to get the right lighting and to get it to stop. I didn't stop on the rail. I continued to make his way to the deck from there. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the caption on it, but
how do you get all these pictures? I mean, like the new calendar, the 2026 calendar has some great photos in it.
We are so blessed. You know, some of the greatest photographers in fishing have been giving us their photography and photos for years. Jim Hendricks, Bill Boyce,
Wes,
of course, who's Wes Bra, who's got fantastic,
such a cool guy.
That's this photo on the cover is Wes.
Is Wes on the cover?
And that's
a big
yellowtail down.
Right on the beach at
in Cabo,
about 17 miles north of Cabo on the Pacific coast side.
Wow.
So Wes fishes with about a 12-foot rod, a 6,000 size spinning reel, something like maybe a 5-ounce Ranger jig with 60 to 150 pound braid, and that's what he's fishing off the beach with. And the reason is he's catching 40-pound. 50-pound yellowtail, 100+ pound grouper from marlin. Caught a lemon shark that was like 500 pounds. I mean, it's amazing. He has caught just about everything from the beach but a marlin.
Isn't that crazy?
Dorado, you name it. It really is crazy.
And on top of that, Bill, he is the most kind soul of an individual that you will ever meet in your life.
He is a wonderful person. His mom and dad are missionaries from Christian missionaries who came from the United States to preach the Lord down in Mexico, in Cabo. And so he was born, I'm not sure if he's born in the US or down there, but he grew up down there and part of the culture. And then he went to college, I think in Hawaii, where he met his lovely wife. And then lives down there now, and he's been surf fishing since he was a little kid. The very first time I met him, he carried probably a 50-pound rooster fish into Minerva's to ask him what it was.
Isn't that crazy?
Wild. That's right. Hey, we have a lot of questions, a lot of phones coming up. You want to get through, have a chance to win one of these calendars. 833-288-0973. Kyle standing by at the fan. Or you can text us via the Let's Talk Hookup app, only on the Let's Talk Hookup app. But the first question I have is from the one and only Mark Wish.
Okay.
And he wants to know, about freeze-dried lugworms.
Yes, that's a great question, Mark. Thank you for asking me. It's great to hear from you. So the lugworms, which were live lugworms and have been around now for probably about 8 years or so, maybe 10 years at the longest in stores and become popular. About 10 years ago, when they first came out, another company tried to dry them. I'm not sure what their process was. And they sent some over to us to test, and they didn't work at all. They were really brittle and they just fell apart. Well, since then, the company who actually produces the lugworms has a technique that they use for freeze drying them that's produced this new product. We're going to be distributing it to stores beginning this week of these dried lugworms that not only work incredibly well. I took them down to Cedros. Well, I had fished the beach with them and they worked well. I took them down to Cedros, walked down the steps below Rosie's place, cast out, had a fish in 2 seconds. I think I had 6 fish on the same bait. So they're dry, they're very light, they're not in any juice of any kind. They're basically archival. They'll last forever, so you can use 2 or 3 of them and put the package back in your pocket and take it home and leave it in your car and not worry about it and go fishing the next week. So they're really great baits. They're freeze-dried lugworms, and it's a new product on the market.
Yeah, and you can buy them at tackle stores probably like Pacific Edge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I know.
So what's better, freeze-dried or live?
You know, I don't really know. I've used both. I would consider that live would probably be better, but I've had such good luck on the dry ones.
Crazy.
And what's interesting is you can break off like 2 inches of one, a half or a third of one, and put it on the hook as dry, and then cast it out. And within literally 1 or 2 seconds of hitting the water, it rehydrates. And it's very, very strong, and the hook doesn't come apart.
Interesting.
And like I said, you can catch several fish on the same.
So you kind of glossed over it. I want to know what you were catching at Cedros on the beach.
Oh, it was crazy. I got a sheep's head,
from the beach,
sheep's head, sand bass, calico bass, 3 or 4 different colors and types of wrasse.
Really?
And then the guy I was fishing with, who wasn't just sitting on the rocks because he was using a lure and not getting bites after 20 minutes or something, after watching me for about 5 minutes, he had just about enough of it and told me it's time to go. We got to go up and have a beer. Yeah. He didn't want to watch me anymore catching fish.
That's funny. That's cool. That's awesome. Well, let's jump into the phones. They're packing up. Let's jump back into it, Corey.
Let's do it. And welcoming to Let's Talk Hookup, Chuck calling from Long Beach. Good morning.
Hi, Chuck.
Hey. Good morning, guys. Hope everything's going well.
Absolutely.
I should have gone to Bill's seminar yesterday, and I probably wouldn't have spent so much money at Tackle Day if I was sitting there listening for an hour walking around in the store. But so what do you do differently with your presentation when you're, say, fishing a live bait versus like fishing like a gulp sandworm or something like that? Are you letting stuff sit more? You moving more? You fan casting more? What's the technique you're using for each one?
You know, really the only difference between something like a Berkeley Gulp or a Grub or something like, or Castmaster or a Lucky Craft or any of those, I'm going to be casting those a lot harder than I would a live bait. 90% of the fish are within 50 feet of the dry sand there. So they're very close. There's no reason that you need to particularly cast over them. And that's why, like, if I'm using a lure, I'm going to be using a fan casting motion. So I'm not going as much straight out as I'm going at an angle like 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock and covering more surface area. But when I'm using let's say a gulp or a grub or a live bait or a fresh dead bait, I'm using exactly the same technique. I'm always casting out and I'm slowly retrieving towards shore. Because the thing about surf fishing is that slack in your line is your enemy. Because you're not over the fish and you're directly connected to your hook, by the time you feel a bite, several seconds have gone by. And surffish, most of them inhale their food, crush it in their throat, spit the pieces out, and eat the individual pieces. So if you wait till you get 2 or 3 pulls on your line, like you would trout fishing, say, hey, I got a bait out there, I'm going to let it get down his throat a little bit, and then I'm going to set the hook on my trout. If you do that in surf fishing, they have already crushed the bait and spit it out. The piece with your hook in it, a piece of metal in it, they're eating around it. They've eaten all the pieces around it. So you want to always cast out, and I use a fan casting motion, 10, cast twice that way, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock twice that way, 2 o'clock that way, and slowly retrieve to shore so you're always tight to your sinker.
Always moving the bait.
Always slowly moving the bait, slower in the winter, a little bit quicker in the summer.
Okay.
Such good info.
tip. Yeah. You have a great text.
I do. There's so many coming through.
A lot of good texts.
I know everybody wants to know. And this one comes from Rory in Lakeside. Good morning, guys. So happy we're talking about surf fishing this morning. I have a boat and do love coastal fishing, but I have to say there is something about surf fishing that is very relaxing. I feel like you're connecting with the ocean in a different way. Bill, fishing from now until spring, what are you targeting and what approach do you take in the colder winter months? And thanks again, Rory.
That's a great question. Yeah. Thank you, Rory. Yes, surf fishing, of course, is good all year long. There's no question. One thing about surf fishing is that there are times during the year where there's transitional phases in surf fishing. So in beginning in May and let's say all the way through the month of July, surf fish are concentrating on sand crabs. And then those sand crabs, they begin to lose their eggs in the sense that they're not spawning any longer. And then eventually, as the water gets cooler in late September, early October, they go into hibernation and disappear here in California. So when we, and Gundy talks about this a lot, when we get to August and September, even October, that's when you're looking at ham using clams, mussels, ghost shrimp, other exotic baits that you might not concentrate on, let's say in May, when there's billions of sand crabs with eggs along the beach. So when the winter comes, you know, some of the best fishing and surf fishing is in the winter, especially if you enjoy perch fishing, whether it's calico surf perch, barred surf perch, walleye surf perch. That's when they spawn, and that's when the biggest ones come out to feed. So that's what we kind of concentrate in the winter. But that doesn't mean that you can't catch a corbina in the winter or spot fin croaker, which we catch a lot through the winter, especially in these years where we have Santa Ana conditions over and over again. It's very good spot fin years. So that's what's fishing in the winter. And there's lots of surf fish still right now, all the way through spring.
So Jim Murray from Thousand Palms has a similar question, but he says, what's Bill Varney's best month to go surf fishing?
Oh my gosh. Here in California, there's so many places to go now.
Well, you're not going to do it where you live in Breckenridge.
That's right. It's it's a long cast from there. Yeah, I just have to fight off those 10-pound brown trout, my 20-pound rainbows.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot of work.
Right.
So, what is my favorite month? Would it be? Well, you know, I like May is a really exciting month because we're coming out of the winter when corbina fishing, which is, you know, one of the great targets in the surf. That's when they get very, very active. When the water in California, Southern California, below Santa Barbara to about Cedros Island zone gets 60 degrees, that's when the sand crabs come back to the surface. And when it gets 64 degrees is when they begin to lose their shells. So that happens in May. And when that happens in great numbers, the corbina, who have spent the winter in bays, harbors, estuaries, they go back into shallower water in the in the winter, because the water warms up quicker there. There's food there for them, and they can spawn. They come out in May along the beaches and spread on the beaches. And that's probably one of my favorite months. But to be honest with you, every single month of the year has its own gifts at the beach.
There really isn't a bad time. I mean, the only bad time would be the winter months, January, February, with a 10-foot swell. I mean, that would obviously...
Yeah, the only time there's issues is maybe around March, middle of March through April, where it gets windy. You know, remember as a kid, we used to use, I don't know about you guys, but I always was flying kites in March and April because it was windy that time of year. And that's really the only time at the beach where there's some issues. Otherwise, just like you said, Corey, I mean, you know, the next month is halibut, and the month after that, you know, because the grinding are coming in, and then the month after that's corbina, and then the spot fin.
There's always something.
There's always something coming around.
That's cool. Well, let's jump back in the phones, Corey.
Let's do that, Pete. How about Hills? Hills calm from Ventura, and he might be in the surf.
He might be. Right. Yeah. Good morning, Hills.
Hey, good morning, guys. Bill is so great. I don't anybody hesitate to send him photos. I've sent him photos, and he's responsive. I think his email is fishthesurf@mail.com or
perfect.
Yeah, he's got it.
And but he and I have chatted back and forth on these emails, and I've been to some seminars with him. In fact, with Wes, that was a couple years ago at pretty much the last Bard Hall show, and that was a great seminar. But Bill is so cool, and obviously the calendar is great. but I think he would appreciate photos from everybody because it's just fascinating to see what people are getting. And I've been lucky. I've gotten some nice fish, and then I try to show Bill, because he's the one who would care, It's like everybody else is like, okay.
Hey, Hills, how's the?
Where to catch it?
I want to ask you, Hills, how the striper bite is. Are you still getting stripers, or what's the?
No, I haven't recently, and it's been looking so good in Ventura. I can't believe I haven't got one. The last thing I got was a big halibut, and they're rebuilding the point in Ventura, the Surfers Point, from erosion, and they had put all these nice cobbles. And I was trying to drag this halibut up the cobbles because I couldn't walk down them. I would have tumbled and died. So trying to drag this 30-inch halibut up these cobblestones, and my rod, a nice rod, broke in half.
Oh no!
I was like, I don't care. I got a halibut.
Crazy. Well, appreciate the story. Thanks for sure, Hills. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
And
Hills.
when we come back, we're going to have more of this discussion. Good times. I want to hear more about the striper stuff because it's something that is happening.
Absolutely.
In the last 10 years has been incredible. It's getting even better. We're going to be right back on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
One rod has set the standard for serious saltwater anglers worldwide, and that's CalStar. From the rugged dependability of the West Coast series, the lightweight strength of the Graphiter, or the performance of the GG series, all CalStar rods are handmade right here in Southern California of the finest materials and craftsmanship. Check out the new CalStar models now available, as well as upgrades to the classic rods that you know and love. If you want your tackle to be state-of-the-art tools to get the job done right, it's CalStar at fine tackle dealers.
The state-of-the-art long-range sport fishing vessel, the Independence, delivers the top quality, comfort, and fishability you look for in a long-range boat. Veteran captains Mark Pisano and Paul Strasser built this incredible 112-foot vessel with the most modern technology and luxurious comfort available. Once you go on the Independence, you'll be back. Call Independence Sports Fishing at 619-226-6006 or check independencesportfishing.com.
Fillet knives shouldn't be disposable. Introducing AFTCO fillet knives that are built to last. Designed in collaboration with Boker, Germany, AFTCO knives feature 4116 German stainless steel, bonded with titanium nitride to ensure optimum corrosion resistance and exceptional edge retention. A non-slip TPR handle maintains a firm grip when processing game fish. Fillet knives from AFTCO. Any fish, any water.
The fish are biting and it's time to go. Hi, this is Ben, and you will see me at my dad's shop, Dana Landing in Mission Bay, or maybe in front of the shop on my kayak. It doesn't matter if you are out there on a kayak with me, on your boat, headed out on a sport boat. Dana Landing has everything you need. We call it the one-stop shop for a great day on the water because it truly is. Food, bait, tackle, beverages, and more. Our tackle shop, headed by John, is certainly one of the best. For freshwater tackle, nothing beats East County Bait and Tackle. These guys have the best rods and reels and the hottest lures and live bait. Our newest shop is Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle with a great stock of both fresh and saltwater tackle right in the heart of Lemon Grove. ECBT is at the end of the 67 freeway on Mapleview and Lakeside. Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle, 94 to Broadway in Lemon Grove, and Dana Landing is next to the Dana Lawn Tramp in Mission Bay. Check out danalanding.com for more details.
The reels that Southern California anglers have been waiting for are here. Shimano is proud to introduce the all-new Talica 40A and 50A reels. The Talica series is Shimano's flagship 2-speed lever drag reel. It sits at the very pinnacle of the offshore world. Shimano has increased the fishability of the larger Talica models by reducing rotational resistance at high drag and improving durability in critical positions within the reel. The all-new Talica 40A and 50A now boast Infinity Drive, which employs 2 drag washers housed on the side of the reel, allowing for an ultra-smooth, powerful drag system, while at the same time increasing winding power under a load by as much as 40%. The new Talica is built around a more compact, cold-forged machine aluminum one-piece frame. Plus, there's also a new higher high gear, built with a Southern California angler in mind. The new Talica 40 and 50A are available now at your local Shimano dealer.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. And Pete, I'm having so much fun in studio
Yeah,
today
it's
and
great to have you here.
Talking good times.
It's a perfect timing for you and Bill to be together. And
yeah.
hardcore surf fishing anglers and good listening and a lot of good stuff. But
Yeah.
Time for the catch report right now.
It is, and it's brought to us by Gamakatsu. And if you like to fish for tuna and you're not using Gamakatsu hooks, you're missing the bites. Their 720 heavy-duty assist hook is the one for your nighttime jigging. And for bait fishing, nothing beats the Nautilus circle hook. They come in sizes as small as a number 4, and they go all the way up to a 6/0. And for the big fish, Nautilus HD is toughing up but not oversized. You can see your local dealer or check them out at gamakatsu.com.
Bill, you're a Gamakatsu pro staff. What
Yes.
Gamakatsu hooks do you use for the surf?
I use the 50409 split. So that would be the size 1. So I use size 1, 2, and 4. I can't remember the other numbers, but they're sequential, I think.
50409
split shot drop shot hook.
Split shot drop shot hook.
Exactly. And then they also make a worm hook, which is probably the best worm hook made. It's
Really?
very thin wire and sharp. And one thing about their worm hooks is that it has a straight shank. So in surf fishing, you never want an offset hook. So a hook where like you have pliers.
But
on
explain
the
why.
eye. Right. Yeah, and here's why. So if you took a pair of pliers and put on the eye and one on the shank of the hook, and you turn them in opposite directions, that makes it offset. The tip is offset from the eye. If you were to put string a bait on that hook and throw it out in the surf, as you slowly retrieve it back to shore, it's going to be spinning in a circle. And what will happen is big fish in the surf got big by being smart. They didn't get big by being dumb and just ate anything that came by them. So when that thing comes by them spinning in a circle and those big ones are looking at it, they look at each other and they say, oh my gosh, that's how Bob got it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, hey, Brian Willey, Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. Good morning, Brian.
Morning, Brian.
Good morning, guys. That's funny.
Right?
Yeah, good stuff, man. Gosh, how about that weather this week?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And it continues, right?
Yeah, it's going to keep rolling through. A little swell, but man, I can't imagine. We were in 40 feet of water in some spots this week, and you could see the bottom.
Wow.
Crazy. Like gin clear. Yeah,
beautiful.
Amazing. So good weather, half day for both, half day and 3/4 day stuff. The half day anglers fish that nice water, 65 to 66 degrees. Like it had some temp too with that sun on it. So there's some good conditions, a little bit of uphill current one day, pushing down the coast another day, but the hard bottom zones produce some nice sand bass and sheephead for the guys on like the Carolina rigs or the reverse dropper loops. Anglers that brought some shrimp with them did pretty good on that sheephead as well. Just think those lobster guys are emptying those bait jars near those traps, all day long, and that's those small little chunks of whatever's left in those jars filtering down, and that's what gets that sheephead fired up. So those small little chunks of something similar to what's coming out of those traps or whatnot is really good for that sheephead. And then some fun calico bass fishing on the live anchovy and the rubber lures. We had the boat up near some boiler rocks up near the closure there in Laguna a few days this week, and just some good fun fall fishing with really nice conditions. And then out in the rockfish sectors, the 3/4 day fishing has continued to be really good. We're fishing anywhere from like 550 feet to 800 feet on the 14-mile bank there, and dropper loop live baits. We had nice anchovy, like I said. So double dropper loop baits did really well on the bankies, the chilies, some picacho, and those jig anglers. Again, they just mopped up the cod this week. Some epic conditions. Guys fished as light as 250 grams up to 350, and it fished really well. You guys were at that spot there with talking about the assist hooks. The guys fishing the assist hooks with like that little bit of flash on it. It has some of that shrimp fly look to it. Those were the hooks that were the standout hooks for the guys fishing the jigs, for whatever that's worth. And then the reds, the pinks, and the blues were the colors that got bit well on the bank. There's been some squid on the 14, so anything that kind of resembled a fired up squid or whatever the fish could see there in that midwater were the colors that were getting bit. And then off the beach a bit at Clemente or on the banks there, the Furies been on top of that smaller grade bluefin this week on some of their 2-day trips. I talked to Marcus yesterday. They had really good fishing on day one of their 2-day trip yesterday. It's that smaller stuff, 8, 10, 20-pound stuff. Relatively easy for them on the fly line baits, and then a few yellows on the bank there as well. That fish was kind of in the 12 to 25 pound range. And then at the island at Clemente, the island's covered in squid right now. So the Yoto fishing there has slowed up a little bit just because of, tons of natural bait there, but still some nice 25 plus pound fish being caught in the mornings on the bait, few on the iron, the yo-yo jig, and then the bass fishing, the kelp has been really good too with that. And then kind of the end of the day topper with these good conditions, they tapped into some of that rockfish over there as well. And we're able to, top things off and just have a nice, really solid mixed fall bag of fish there for their guys. So solid week. We're looking forward to another good one as we push through this coming week. So if you guys want to hop on a trip, make a reservation. There were days this week where we were on the edge and we had to cancel because we just didn't have enough. And it's, when you're out there in 600-700 feet of water, light load's the way to go. So make the reservation, 949-496-5794. Of course, you can hit us on the web as well at danawharf.com.
Wow, fantastic report. Sounds like good fishing. And you'll be here next Sunday in the studio in the world headquarters here talking all that good fishing at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, right?
Yeah, looking forward to it. That'll be a good time.
Yeah, always great to have you, Captain Brian Woolley, Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, and we'll see you right here in the studio next Sunday.
Bright and early. All right, guys. Thanks for the time. Have a great rest of the show.
Appreciate that very much. While we're waiting for Surf Guru Gunny Gunnarsson, we got to talk about a great place to go eat. And if you're getting hungry, Charlie's Landing right there next to C4 Sport Fishing, adjoining C4. It's a part of C4 Sport
It is
Fishing.
under the same
It's
roof.
right there, yeah. You heard one of our callers talking yesterday about how much he loves the fish and chips there, but the fish tacos there are also outstanding. But the smash burger, there's so many different items there that are fantastic.
Pete, to hang out and just overlook the boardwalk.
Yeah.
And such a friendly time of the year to do it. There's parking available.
Yep.
And it's just more friendly.
Yeah.
And if you're going out on a trip, what do they have in store for you? It's $1 beer.
$1 beer with your ticket, whether you're going whale watching, it's kind of getting the whale watch season, or whether you're going fishing, you show your ticket, you get a buck draft beer that they have there. And the other thing, they have great sandwiches, they have breakfast burritos. So breakfast, lunch, or dinner, great setting. Charlie's Landing is the spot, right a part of C4 Sport Fishing in Mission Bay. Check it out.
Right across the breezeway from C4.
I promise you go once,
you're hooked.
You're hooked. You go back for sure.
And Brand makes all those in-house pickles and slaw. And just all the cool stuff, right?
It's like real handmade stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
please,
it's
and
good
thank
stuff.
you.
Yeah. Hey, Mike Lum. First, I want to throw out a big thank you to Mike Lum and Tim Baker and all the crew that helped Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea, Friends of Rollo yesterday, and raised a lot of money to take kids fishing. But Mike's driving home right now, and he wanted to know about waders, wetsuits, or shorts in the surf. It's a good question.
Well, where Mike lives, he might need a wetsuit. It's a little bit colder up there around Vandenberg Air Force Base and so forth. Most anglers who fish in the surf do not fish with waders. There are some who fish with waders, especially if you're a hard bait fisherman. You're going to hike out in the water and have your waders on so you don't get too cold.
Just make sure you have a good wading belt on.
You have to have a good wading, and
you
it has
get
to
knocked into the surf, you're done.
You're toast, and it needs to be tight. It needs to be tightened to your belt.
You don't want to fill your waders full of water.
No. You because once your waders are full of water, you could be the best swimmer in the world, and if you're not on the bottom, you won't be able to get back up without getting them off. So not a lot of people use waders. Sometimes when we fished at night, we would use them to stay warm. I do know people, including myself, who've worn my wetsuit because I'll surf and then tidal change or something, and I'll paddle in and go to my car and get my rod and then just stand in my wetsuit and fish it, which is very comfortable but gets awfully hot. So for me, it's always shorts or swim trunks. And if I'm Corbina fishing, which I'm going up and down the beach hunting for Corbina, they have incredible eyesight. They can see you standing on the shore. So often I'll wear trunks or shorts that are brown and then a blue shirt, so I look like the sand in the sky, a camo look at the beach, so I can get in front of them and get a shot at them. So I really like to stick that. And often most times I will not go in the water to fish. And Corey and I were talking about this a couple of minutes ago. 90% of all the fish are within 50 feet of the sand. So if you wade out 10 feet into the water, you're going to be hit by the fish in the back of your legs.
Yeah.
Because they could be behind you.
Yeah. You never know.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, Surf Guru Gundy Gunderson, we're going to start his report here. We'll probably have to interrupt you. Good morning, Gundy.
How's it going?
Great.
How's
We're
it going,
talking,
gentlemen?
you're talking your language here today.
Yeah, not not your typical fall, but we got better conditions this week. You know, the weather was nice. We got a little bit offshore, so we got a little clean water. You know, we're in the mid 60s right now, so you know it's not over by any stretch, and there's still some warm water species. Still seeing the Corbina. You know, still a little tough to get a bite. Perch fishing was the best bet. The halibut bite was a scratch. You know, there's still a few croaker around. Like I said, still seeing the Corbina with few biters and some juvenile white sea bass showing up in the bays and the harbors up north off Galita Pier. That bite's still going on with those sea bass. The best stretch again was up north. We'll start with hook, line, sinker. They reported some consistent catches off the cleaner western beaches, you know, spots like Gaviota, El Capitan, Refugio, Halama, that kind of thing, kicking out 6 to 12-inch barred perch. Bloodworms, mussels, probably the best bets. There's still some sand crabs around, but not with consistency, so I'd make sure I'd have a backup there. And then, like I said, that Galita Pier, still fishy sea bass under the lights. That's a morning and an evening thing. Solid perch fishing in and around the pier there. Kind of scratch fishing for the halibut right now. Just Fishing reported good barred perch fishing in those South Bay beaches, Manhattan, Hermosa, Torrance Beach, 5 to 10-inch fish, grubs, gulp sandworms working. They're still seeing a few Corbina there and a few guys getting bites on some exotic baits like ghost shrimps and things like that. Yellowfin croaker outside the surf line. Not real red hot catches, but scratch fishing. Big fish reported. Best bet was a halibut bite off Shoreline Drive there. Sunset, Bolsa Chica. Hogan's reported scratch fishing for perch. Salt Creek, a better
Hey,
spot
Gundy,
there.
we're going to
That's about
continue the report here.
there.
Hang on 1 second. We're going to take a quick break.
And we're going to be right back. We're going to continue on with Gundy's report and more from Bill Varney when we return, not only on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, but we're going to return on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, this is Captain Benny Florentino, owner-operator of Coastal Charters. Just want to announce that I'll be running the Camus 26 hybrid boat from West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa. Hybrid being a center console with bay boat features. The boat features a Michael Peters stepped hull that'll give both myself and my guests a comfortable, dry ride. West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa will be carrying the 26 hybrid, 28 hybrid, and also a 34 cat. Heck, they even have some great looking bass boats. But if you have any other questions, feel free to call Nick Kelly or Kyle Mesa at West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa, and we'll see you on the water.
Take it from Captain Benny Florentino. West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa is your source for Camus boats, as well as Parker boats, Yamaha outboards, and now Mercury outboards. Sales and service, the finest you can find. Go see Nick and the guys at West Coast Marine on Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa, or check westcoastmarine.com.
3 kayaks, 6 surfboards, 10 rods, and 1 truck bound for Baja. That's where my brother and I's most recent quest into the Baja Peninsula began, in search of waves, fish, and fun. We are able to transport all the kayaks, rods, and boards without straps due to the easy transportation of the Hobie iTrack inflatable kayaks. We brought a tandem and 2 singles, the I-9 and 11, and they were totally enough to get all 6 of the boys onto some of the best halibut and grouper fishing of their lives. Now, you might be thinking, 3 kayaks? I thought a tandem and 2 singles would only be able to fit 4 people. Well, a simple lawn chair on the back of the kayak was enough to turn the 2 single kayaks into tandems. Catching upwards of 100 fish a day in the mangroves, ranging from 15-pound grouper to tons of legal halibut, we had our fill and headed back to the States. Check out the full video of this trip on our YouTube channel, Fastlane SC, or come by our shop in Mission Bay and check out a Hobie inflatable kayak. See you soon.
Hello, this is Captain Mike Totter from Searcher Sport Fishing. Alongside my colleague, Chef Josh Evans, and our dedicated team, we invite you to join us aboard the Searcher. Our fishing trips range from 1.5 to 8 days, available May through November, and include charter options. We're committed to upholding a legacy of top-notch customer service, delicious food, and a friendly and talented crew. Book your fishing adventure online at searchersportfishing.com or call Rachel at 619-226-2403. That's searchersportfishing.com. We look forward to welcoming you aboard.
For your next fishing adventure, check Point Loma Sport Fishing. They offer half-day and full-day trips daily, perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips, targeting the best of seasonal catches. Visit PointLomaSportFishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627. Want to go fishing? Point Loma Sport Fishing has you covered.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
What's up, guys? It's Brayden Soprenet. No one is more locked into San Diego sports than me. From Padres to high school football, I've got it covered weekdays from 10 to 2 on 97.3 The Fan.
And Odyssey Sports Station. This program is sponsored and produced by Let's Talk Hookup. Opinions and offers expressed during this program are not those of Odyssey or 97.3 The Fan. Sometimes they tell some pretty hefty fish stories. We don't know if they're true or not.
And now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. This portion of the show is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Here we go. Another great hour of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. Here's Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
Welcome back. Hour number 2, Let's Talk Hookup, right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook, YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan. Pete Gray here, along with Corey Sandin today, with Bill Varney, surf fishing expert. And I might also add that Bill also does a great job on our bi-monthly, would we call, or every other week newsletter that we publish out. And the next one's coming out this coming week, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
lots
right.
of
This
great
Thursday.
stories. And
Absolutely.
We'll be having some good. Which story is going to be in there this week?
I don't remember, but I
Yeah,
must say
lots
that our new writer, our new traveler on fishing trips, Dallas Maxa.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Fantastic.
She did a great
writer.
job on it.
Oh
She
my
missed her
gosh.
calling. So-
She absolutely. I'm trying to encourage her to continue her
Yeah.
writing skills because she is really good, really interesting. Lots of insight in her stories.
Yeah.
and they really draw you in and make you feel like you're there.
Oh yeah, no, she's a hidden talent for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If somebody missed a newsletter, can we access them after they're published? It'd be nice to have an archive of those.
I think you just got to sign up and stay tuned
Sign
and
up
catch
stay on,
everyone.
and it's free.
Yes.
And we don't junk. We don't sell your email address. We just send you the newsletter. That's all we
Right,
do.
right.
And you can do that on our Let's Talk Hookup website. Let'sTalkHookup.com. Just it'll pop up. There's a pop up there, or you just look for the little banner that says "Sign up for our newsletter."
Mhm.
It's free. Again, we don't sell it. We don't junk it. So don't have to worry about that. You'll just receive and sometimes I might add too that because of that hookup thing, you might find the newsletter in your junk folder. So
Right.
you'll have to get it approved. So a lot of times that newsletter will go in the junk folder. You have to kind of get it okayed by your spam filter or whatever it is and get that. But yeah, Bill does a great job and we thank you for that.
Well, it's such great information
Yeah.
and what fun. We know exactly who's going to be on the show. And then we always have a great story or tips
Yes.
about what you need to know to become a better angler.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff for sure. Yeah, but giving away some great prizes today. Too,
We
right?
are, Pete. And if you want to join us, there is an open line right now. And you can join us by calling Kyle at 97.3 The Fan. And the number, 833-288-0973. Pete's holding the calendar right there. Or you can text us via the app. And it's only done through the app. It says right there, text the show. And you can send us a message. One-way messaging system. So you do want to make sure you leave your name and telephone number. Because at the end of the show, Bill's giving away one calendar each, one to the texter and one to the calling side.
2026 calendar.
You got to get it.
2026, you'll have all your tides, all your photographs, all your...
The tides are awesome. I have one on my wall right here, and I look at it every day to look at tides and
Absolutely.
keep track of what's going on.
And of course, it got all the IGFA records on it.
Yeah.
It's got quotes on it.
Yeah.
You know, like
Key dates, the show dates.
key dates, holidays,
Yeah.
everything you need to know to be
Yeah.
a good angler, surfer, diver,
Yeah.
anything that includes going to the water.
Yeah, we live by the tide, right?
And how
That's
do we
right.
how do we obtain one?
Well, first of all,
If we
there
don't win one today.
Yeah, if you don't win one today, this week they'll be coming out to all the tackle shops from Santa Barbara to San Diego. And then you can go on surffishtackle.com, my little surf fishing store, order one there, come right to your door.
Wow, very good. So you can add it to an order of surf fish tackle, or
Absolutely.
you can just order the calendar.
You need hooks, you
Just
need
surf fish
dried
tackle.
lugworms, you need a rod and reel. You can
So-
add it right to those.
So if you go to surffishtackle.com and you don't know which Gamakatsu hook we were just talking about or which hook, you can order them right there and you'll send them the right hook.
Exactly. And, I really want to encourage everybody, whether you make orders on the site or not, all of the things I have on my site are what I use on the beach surf fishing. I don't have anything on there that doesn't work or I don't use. And that way you can go through the site, you can look at the two types of hooks that I have on there, see what those look like, who's are manufactured by. And if you don't need something there, you can go to your local tackle shop and pick them up also.
Do you sell freeze-dried lugworms on there?
We do. We sell
do?
freeze-dried lugworms, and man alive, we sell.
You sell live ones too?
We don't sell the
Oh,
live
okay, okay.
ones, but we sell the dry
Yeah.
ones. And I would say we probably have 50 to 100 orders a week for those. And we have so many repeat. We've only had them for a month, and we have
freeze-dried lugworms?
freeze-dried lugworms. And I would say half of the people have reordered because they work so well. I had 5 or 6 people yesterday on the boat came up and say, Bill, I love the freeze-dried lugworms. Do you have
Wow.
any with you? They work
That's-
really well.
That's
so.
great. Well, hey, let's go live on the water right now. Captain Mike is aboard the Tribute. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, good morning, guys. Ian's running the boat here this morning. Just called in with really good fishing. They had 43 yellowfin on the boat, 25 to 30 pound fish. It looks like a couple of bluefin and a yellowtail. And I know the guys out west are having good bluefin fishing right now. So it's, we talk about it every year. It's that time of year where great fishing and the numbers, the load starts to drop down. But some really good yellowfin fishing here this morning.
Wow, fantastic. And is that within 1 day, day and a half range?
Yeah, it is. And we have a day and a half leaving tonight, 7 p.m. departure. We only have 10 people on the boat right now. So
But you're going.
This is that time of year. Yeah, we're going for sure.
Mike, I'm looking at
trips scheduled throughout the week, and then next weekend, same thing. We have 2 trips that are for sure go with plenty of room.
Great. I'm looking at tonight's trip. You said it's leaving tonight, correct? Day and a half?
Yep.
Beautiful weather. I'm looking at it right now.
Flat calm.
Incredible.
It looks fake when you look at the weather report.
It looks too good, right?
I thought it was broken.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's
So, yeah.
fantastic. So good time to go. And so with only 10 people on the boat, you maybe likely get out with like 15 people on that giant boat.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be plenty of room. The trip that we're on now, same thing. We started with only a handful of people, and it got out full. But that's a weekend. So yeah, tonight I'm guessing probably 15 to 18 people. Would be
Wow.
what you're going to be fishing with.
And flat calm weather and biting tuna. How about that in
Biting tuna.
November?
It happens every year.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
We like you said, we always talk about it. Guys start falling off or whatever, and then with the yellowfin added, it always perks it up a bit. But literally the weather, the fishing, it is the nicest time to be on the water.
Yeah, for sure. Well, how do we get on the Tribute tonight or this coming weekend if we want to go?
Seaforthlanding.com, tributesportfishing.com. You can give them a call as well at 619-224-3383. And like I said, I know the Cortez just called in with great bluefin fishing, so it's just good.
But likely with this trip tonight, you're going west or you're going to go south?
I don't commit to anything. I would imagine if the yellowfin keep biting, you're going to see us go in that direction.
Okay,
and I mean,
but
43 yellowfin by 7:30 in the morning is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, but here's the deal. You can't lose either way because
Right.
it's great fishing west or south, right?
That's right.
And beautiful weather.
And beautiful weather.
Yeah.
No, Ian's driving tonight. I'm not committing anything, but I'm guessing after what he's done this morning, it's probably going to be going that direction.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, great, Mike. Appreciate the report. Keep up the great work here, and it's time to go fishing.
It is. I would not miss tonight.
Yeah, for
that's a
sure.
good one.
Good
Thank you,
call,
Mike.
man. Thanks a lot for the call.
Of course,
Tribute
you guys
Sport
have a good
Fishing.
week.
Tribute Sport Fishing or C4 Sport Fishing. The call. Stop at Charlie's. Get a little
I was
dinner on
going
the
to
way.
say,
Right?
little dinner, $1 beer because you bought your ticket.
Got the whole thing's going.
Hello.
Yeah, for sure. Well, phones are packed up. They want to talk to Bill, so let's jump into
Let's do that, Pete. And welcome to the show this morning, Mike and Rosemead. Good morning and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for picking up my line. You know, you've already mentioned this, but, you know, the similarities between surf fishing and trout fishing are basically the same. Pete, when you're up there in Montana fishing a stream or a river, you know, you have to cast upstream and mend your line, keep it straight, and, you know, be in direct contact with the fly. Well, you do the same thing with fishing in the surf. Depending on the swell direction in the wind, you kind of cast up into the wind, let it come down the surf line, and you stay directly in front of that line there and keep it nice and taut. And
good points.
You want to fish that stream solitude. I mean, you're all by yourself fishing. It's so peaceful. And on many days during the week, there's nobody on the surf, just you by yourself.
Boy,
I mean,
that's a good point.
similarities with it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It is.
And it's something you can do year round here.
Trout
Absolutely.
fishing, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
not during the summertime, but yeah, exactly.
Surf fishing,
Yeah, it's a very peaceful, soulful thing. And, you know, that's one thing that I've always noticed about surf fishing and surfing that attracted me to it was, you know, when I'm at the beach and I'm looking inland toward the mountains, there's 13 million people between me and the mountains. When I'm standing on the shore and I'm looking out in the water over toward Catalina or San Clemente Island, it's just me and the birds and the dolphins and a couple of guys out there surfing. And I just feel like I'm free. And I'm out there and I'm doing it on my own.
It's so true. It really is. And the surf perch, and by the way, Mike, thanks for the call this morning. But it's like, how big a perch? I mean, so most people think like hand size and small, but we've got some pretty sizable fish.
You know, there's some big fish out there. And the thing is, you know, we know that we haven't caught the big ones. They got big by being smart. And a lot of these big fish in the surf, particularly the perch, the different perch, calico or barred surf perch, they actually live and back in between the rocks. So if you have a jetty going out, they're not out 5 feet from the jetty. They're actually the big ones in between the rocks. And when the wave crashes on the rocks and creates all the bubbles, they come out for a couple of seconds and feed because it washes things from the rocks. And then they back right back into the rocks again. So there's a lot of big fish out there. And of course, they're always near structure.
Now, what about eating fish that you catch in the surf? Talk about that.
Yeah, you know, there's specific areas in Southern California, maybe California overall, that I wouldn't. Anywhere where we have an outfall, so up in El Segundo, Bologna Creek,
Tijuana Slough,
really. I think Tijuana Slough all the way to Coronado, maybe that zone. That's just not. It's not going to kill you to eat that stuff, and if you eat it occasionally, but it's not something I'd want to make a habit out of.
But now, our surf, like Corbina, surf perch, that kind of stuff, are they good eating?
They're great eating.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. Let's say that you had a steer, a cattle in your yard that you were saving to make into steaks and eat, and you fed it shrimp or clams or sand crabs for 2 years. It'd taste pretty darn good. So they have a really good diet, a really natural diet, a very clean diet, a high protein diet.
Yeah.
So they have excellent meat. And most of the surffish have a very white meat. Of course, the croaker family is the same as the white sea bass.
Yeah. So Corbina would taste a lot like a white sea bass.
It would. It's a little bit milder in flavor. White sea bass does have its own unique flavor to it, but yes, it's very similar, and the meat looks almost exactly the same.
And you think of like the sargos and those other type of perch, like the rainbow perch, and a lot of them are similar to drum, and they are a type of drum.
They're their cousin, basically.
Right, exactly. But think of the redfish on the East Coast. They're
Right.
all very similar.
Yeah, the redfish almost look exactly like a spotfin croaker.
Seriously.
It's just that they're spots in a different place.
And the
It's
sargo.
they're a spot tail croaker.
Yeah.
And the sargo. Yeah. And you know, the only one you really might want to stay away from is like the opali perch, who eat quite a bit of algae and moss and things like that.
Right.
So they have more of a muddy flavor to them. But so many of the other perch are just clam eaters, worm eaters and sand crab eaters, and that's their main diet.
And here's a cool part too, is when our rockfish season is shut down, there is a point in time, and look at the regs, it is legal to keep them, catching them from the shore.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. So I don't know where that overlap. There is a point of that, Pete, and I don't know the exact months and the dates, but when it is illegal to catch them, ground fish, rockfish on the inside, you're legally able to keep them by catching them from the beach.
Huh.
So that would be a grass rockfish, brown rockfish.
And that's strangely enough, in the surf, that's a very popular fish
Cabazon.
in Northern California. So if you go up to Crescent City, there's a beach right below it called Samoa, of all things. Very good red tail surf perch area. But there's also a lot of cod there, black cod and other cod that you can catch from the shore that a lot of anglers keep, and is delicious eating fish.
And I'll tell you one thing that's kind of cool too is south of us, Ensenada zone, I won't say exactly where, but boil rock fishing, like literally in 3 feet of water, I've caught 15-pound lingcod.
Wow.
Like flipping for calico.
Yeah.
So those are total, like you could catch them straight up and down as a surfing angler.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a great text, huh?
There's a lot coming through.
Yeah. And
It's
hey,
kinda
by
neat.
the way, if you want to get through on the phones, 833-288-0973.
Right. And the text is via the app. And this one came via the app, and it's from Darren and Menifee. Hey, Pete, Corey, and Bill. I usually surf fish in Oceanside and sand crabs, but only catch surf perch if I want to target corvina. And he may have meant corvina, but he said corvina, croaker, or halibut. What bait should I use, and what conditions do I look for? I definitely need a new calendar, and thank you for the great show.
You're very welcome, Darren.
Yeah,
I
thank you,
appreciate
Darren.
that. Boy, that's about an hour answer
Right?
there.
There's so much
Let's
there.
give a couple of thoughts here. So corvina fishing, and Gunny will talk about this sometime, where they're caught outside along the open beach there. But so often they're in, of course, Mission Bay and San Diego Bay, and a lot of times in the back part of those bays is where they spawn and feed. One angler who continues to send me great reports on corvina, Corvina, is catching them over by Vacation Island, I guess it's called now.
In Mission Bay?
In Mission Bay.
Right.
And he's fishing them on a hard bait, like a Lucky Craft or a Battlestar bait, and he's fishing them at night. And he's fishing a high tide going to a low tide. And he finds the areas where the road overpass, the bridges.
And there's a lot of them in Mission
Yes.
Bay. Yeah. Like Ingram Street has several.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So wherever those are, there's light coming off of those, which is from them and from cars going by, which attracts them to feed underneath those, and they're catching them at night there. So for corvina fishing, that's that. Halibut fishing, one thing about halibut fishing is, like, halibut, their body style and shape is much different than any other surf fish. They're not aqua dynamic. Because of their shape, if there's a strong current and they come out of the sand, they're like a kite and they get taken wherever the current is going to take them to. Other fish can swim right into the current. So they predominantly feed at peak high tide and peak low tide, times when the water is not moving as much. So if high tide is at noon, probably 11:30 to 12:30 is a good time to halibut fish, where there's very little current.
All right. Good tips.
So much cool stuff.
Well, let's jump back on the phones again. 833-288-0973. Kyle's standing by.
And that would be Charles. Charles and La Mirada. Good morning. Appreciate you joining us.
Hey, Charles.
Yeah. Good morning, Pete, Bill, and Kyle. Great show this morning. Got a little swing of a report here for you. Thanks for all the outings for the Friends of Rotto yesterday for all the kids, but I had the pleasure of taking my godson out to the Kanabe catch here in La Mirada. They stocked it well yesterday. There must have been 500-600 kids there.
Wow.
And we ended up coming out of there with a first place trophy. So
wow.
Congratulations.
My godson, Aaron Aragon, he got his 4.5-pound catfish, we were just stoked all day. We were lit up all day. He was jumping around like a cricket. You know? So kudos to him.
That's so cool. Congratulations. That's awesome. 4.5-pound catfish.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we sure
good eating
appreciate the
fish.
call. Yeah, absolutely. I have a great text here from Don in Temecula. And Don has a pretty interesting question. We haven't really talked about this. He says, I'm looking for a rod and reel for the surf fishing. Does a longer rod help out?
Yes. And how long? So I usually fish a 7 to 9 foot steelhead rod. So they're commonly known as maybe an SST rod, salmon, steelhead, and trout rod, something that's limber. And I fish an 8.5 foot rod because I'm less than 6 feet tall. If I was over 6 feet tall, I'd fish a 9 foot rod. The taller you are, a little longer rod is better for you. A lot of folks will ask me, should I go 10 feet, 11 feet or so? I don't go over 9 feet because it doesn't fit my car. So
that's true.
8.5 fits fine in there. But that's really all you need. And you do just something 7 to 9 feet, and that's going to allow you to get enough of a cast. When you're casting live baits or fresh dead baits, you're not going to cast them as hard as you would a lure. And so that longer rod gives you the ability not only to get your bait a little farther out, but get a little bit more accuracy on casting. And the reason that you need accuracy is you might be on an open beach where accuracy is not important, but often you'll be on a beach where you may be fishing adjacent to a jetty, and you want to fish right on the edge of the jetty where the rocks underwater meet the sand. That's right where the fish are, on that edge. So with a little longer rod, it's going to give you a little more accuracy on casting out along the edge of those rocks rather than into the rocks.
And it's just a little more friendly, where you can stand in ankle deep water.
Yes.
And fish in front of you, a little more comfortable. And when I say in
Absolutely.
front of you, I mean some of those fish are only in 2 feet of water.
Exactly. Sometimes, if you're in the water, they may be behind you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You never know.
It's good stuff. You have another great text, huh?
I do. There's so many coming through, and it's really cool. And thank you for sending them via the app. And this morning, guys. Hey, Bill, how do you get ghost shrimp here in Southern California? I know they use a type of suction pump, with a question mark, he's asking. And but question is, where do you go to get without it being illegal to get the ghost shrimp? And do you need a license? Thanks from Uncle Mike in Huntington Beach.
That's great questions, Uncle Mike. So you do need a license. It is a form of fishing, collecting bait. So you're going to need a California sport fishing license.
And they watch it.
And they watch it. And they're really, a lot of the places where you do catch the ghost shrimp, bays and estuaries and rivers and stuff in Southern California, the fishing game does go there, frequent there, and look there.
And there's a limit on them.
There's a limit on them. I mean, always check the limit as to what the limit is. Usually it's around 50 on them. Same with sand crabs, but be sure to check it all the time. It could change it at any moment. And so there's basically 2 ways to catch them. There's the way that Pete always suggests to catch them. You just pull out that $20 bill.
Go to Seaforth Sport Fishing.
You go to Seaforth Sport Fishing. I always suggest calling Seaforth in advance. They carry live.
Or there's, I'm sure he's from up north. I'm sure there's some shops up north that also have them.
There's just one shop I know of up north in Seal Beach. Norm's Bait and Tackle carries them. They had hundreds of them the other day when I was in there. Beautiful collection of ghost shrimp there.
But if you want to go catch them,
yes,
Bill, it's a fun adventure.
It's fun, yeah.
Absolutely.
If you're taking a junior or
it's a ton of fun.
Or a family member from out of town.
I have to be honest with you, Corey. Sometimes I have more fun catching bait than fishing. To be honest.
But what about pumps?
Yeah. So Alvey out of Australia made pumps for years, stainless steel pumps.
Can I tell you where to go get one right now?
Sure.
Dana Landing on Mission Bay.
They have them.
They had them. The last I knew 6 months ago, they had them.
Yeah, and they'll tell you where to go pump too.
They're just over $100, which isn't
the stainless steel pump.
Stainless steel.
They do make plastic ones too, but
No,
get the
no.
stainless steel ones.
Stainless
It's
steel
so
is much better.
Yeah, much better.
It's
lasts you a lifetime.
It will.
Literally.
The only thing you have to really change is kind of the little rubber gasket on the bottom once in a
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you rinse them out often, which I never do, they will last longer. If you don't ever rinse them out, they'll last 20 years.
You can find those PVC ones that will work, but the bottom, it's difficult to work with.
Yeah, the problem with the PVC, and in my book, I show you how to make a PVC one and go to Home Depot and spend $20, you can make one. They definitely work, but the difference between them and the stainless is that the diameter of the pipe, not its roundness, but the thickness of it is thick, is let's say an 1/8 inch thick. but the stainless is like 1/32 of an inch, and it's like a hot knife through butter when you put it in that sand.
Yeah.
So it's much easier for you to use in not as wet sand, in areas where you need to go deeper and so forth. And then any back bay environment, anywhere where you have sand and mud combination, estuaries, harbors, rivers like the Santa Ana River, Bologna Creek. These are all places you can get them.
see them at low tide.
Yes.
Holes all over the
You
place.
see all the
like
holes.
right in front of the world headquarters here.
Yeah,
right in front
you
of
could.
Fisherman's Landing. You can pump them
Oh,
right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If the basin, if you got a minus
have a low
tide in the basin and you have the right to walk around where all the boats are here,
Right.
you could pump them till you're blue in the face.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
They're all over the place. They're very prolific and they grow very, very quickly.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
fun.
Well, hey, it's time to find out what's biting. Our angler's realtor, Joseph Hosseini, is standing by.
He's right there. And the Catch Report is sponsored by the Fish Pros of Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. And it's where you get your premier processing experience. You can check out the easier online system to book your processing for your long-range trips. And with more team members, Fisherman's Processing stays far ahead of the rest. They have more same-day capacity and the finest customer service. You can stop by their location in Old Town and Taylor Street, or just check them out at fishermansprocessing.com. And don't forget to make a reservation today. And we've got them. Good morning, Yusuf.
Good morning, Yusuf.
Good morning, guys. How we doing today?
Doing great. I understand you're getting on a plane going to Mag Bay, huh?
What?
Nice.
I am. Yeah, I'm going to go down to AFCO Boys, and we're going to jump on the Killer Bee. You can hear in the background, I'm at LAX right now.
Sweet.
Wow.
Sweet. You flying down to Cabo?
We are flying to Loretto.
Loretto.
And shuttling
Perfect.
over.
Going fishing with your brother over there.
Exactly.
How cool.
So should
You
be
lucky
good.
dog.
Right? So are you leaving some
Yep.
biting fish here locally or what?
Pretty much, yeah. It was really good this week. I got out on Tuesday. I'll start up north, up in the Santa Cruz, Anacapa area. There have been some sea bass over at Chinese Harbor. It actually bit pretty good this week. On Thursday, they had some really good scores. Palo Verde, Long Beach area on the coast. Not much going on, but good rock fishing. It's been very solid. Catalina Island, there's a ton of squid around again. West Cove, Ben Weston, Salto Verde, that whole area is just plugged. And there are yellows around still, around the squid zone. They're like 12 to 25 pounds. Barracuda and bass are mixed in as well. They're still biting pretty good. San Clemente Island, the yellows have gotten a little slower on those big yellowtail 20-plus pounders. Same deal, early morning bite. When they get some downhill current, it bites really good. Coronado Canyon, 425, 101 area started biting again last week. We found them on Tuesday, just west of the 101, out to the 302 area, basically all the way out to the Hidden Bank. Lots of foamers, smaller yellowtail on the patties. 371 area had like plugs. All the kelps were plugged with like 4 to 6 pound kind of rat yellowtail. There were some bigger ones in there as well, but they couldn't choke down the sardines we were feeding them. Giant sardines this last week. And then Bondabank. Bondabank's been biting really good. 10 to 80 pound yellowfin, 10 to 80 pound bluefin, 10 to 40 pound yellowfin, and it has been a solid bite. You guys, we know, I think Brandon Nelson was out the day we were out, ran down there and just cleaned up. I think he texted us around 11 or 12 on his way back. So,
oh wow,
been
yeah.
going good.
Hey, check this out.
Really good fishing.
We had Mike on the Tribute call in this morning earlier in the show, and he had over 40 yellowfin down in that same zone. Yeah. This morning.
Yeah, no, I believe it. It's really good fishing. They're all basically piled up down there.
Oh, yeah. Well, fishdope.com, of course, $30 off a new membership to fishdope.com. Your source for good information right on every day of the year. He's got it. $30 off using the code Hookup Now. And Joseph, how do we find you? How's that real estate market?
Real estate market's cranking. We've got tons of listings, a bunch of new buyers. It's moving. Feds just dropped the rate again. So you're going to see some real movement in the real estate market here over the next couple months going into the first quarter. Really good. It's a good thing. We need it right now.
Yeah, for sure. Well, how do we get a hold of you if we want to get all the expertise that you have?
You can get
You can get me on social media at the Anglers Realtor. You can also get me on my website at sportsmansrealty.com. You can get a free home evaluation at socalhomeeval.com, or just call me on my cell phone anytime, 619-277-2169.
All right. Have a great time down south, and say hi to your brother Ali for us. And we'll talk to you next Sunday with a full report from up and down.
You got it. We'll talk to you soon, guys.
All right. Thanks for the call this morning.
And if we want to join Bloody Decks, what's the
well, if you want to join fishdope.com,
Fishdope.
it's Hookup Now.
There it is.
Lowercase, no space, Hookup Now is your $30 code. For
And that
sure.
was brought to us also by Summit Gasoline at the San Diego Sports Arena. And it's the place to fill up your car, truck, and boat with the lowest gas and diesel price. And did you know Summit also is the place to get your lowest price on ice and snacks for your trip? Over 40 different snacks, all of them for 89 cents a piece, as well as the sandwiches and the frozen bait too. Ice is nearly half the price of other places, only $3.99 for a 25-pound bag. Not a 20-pound bag, but 25
pound bag.
Exactly. You get 100 pounds. This one just always just amazes me. You get 100 pounds of free ice when you purchase 35 gallons of fuel, right?
So if you go fill up your boat or your truck or whatever, get 100 pounds of free ice.
It's
and then
crazy.
the other thing too is they always have the lowest price. I mean, like not just a few pennies, but many cents less than anybody else. Summit Gasoline.
It rivals and is sometimes lower than Costco.
Oh yeah, for sure. Many
That's
times lower than
It
Costco.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And you don't have to wait in a big long line because they have 27 pumps there too.
You got to check them out. They're right there.
And $6 car wash shoe. Their car wash
That is a bargain.
number one.
I haven't done that one
Yeah,
yet.
no, their car wash is unbelievable.
I need to.
Yeah, and then the snacks for 89
89
cents.
cents? Are you kidding me?
And they're fisherman friendly. Martha and
Super.
whole crew, Finn, the owner there, they love fishermen for sure.
If you haven't been there, you need to check them out. They're right
Yeah.
there at the San Diego Sports Arena.
Yeah, do it.
Summit
for sure.
Gasoline.
So, yeah, let's jump back in the phones, Corey.
Let's do that, man. We've had some patient callers, and John from Escondido. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. So, comment and then a couple of questions. Comment was it was fun to see the show yesterday, and everybody was around Corey's booth and just listening to his stories and things like that. And so, my question is, when you swim it, when Corey talks about working a swim bait, is it the same thing in the surf? And the other question is there a breakdown rod, like a travel rod and reel setup that you like, so whenever you go somewhere you have the opportunity to surf fish, you're not taking your 9-foot rod?
Oh, good questions. Well, swimming the swim bait in the surf, it's just maintaining visual. You want the fish to see it, but you don't want to move it too fast. You want it to just blend in. And so a lot of times that surf back and forth, the flow back and forth will, and by the way, thank you for the call there, John. But yeah, it just flows back and forth. You don't want to overwork it. You want it to flow,
You want it to look as natural as possible.
Pun intended, flow.
That's right, flow. And that's the same with all surf baits you use or so forth. You want to use what occurs naturally in the areas where they live. So if you're using a swim bait, you want to use a swim bait that would mimic some of the colors and actions of bait fish in that area. So
I've
if it's
got one word
grunion
for that.
time,
There it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
if it's grunion time, grunion, right? If
My
if they're
favorite.
eating perch, which they do sometimes a year,
Yeah.
the perch look. So all that's what you want to do for sure.
I get fired up about that.
And what about a multi-piece rod?
A multi-piece rod, really the best one that I know of. It doesn't mean that I know all of them, but the Okuma SST travel rods, which come in a case, break down to, I can't remember how many inches, maybe 32 inches on the 9-footer. And that's one of the easiest things to take.
And inexpensive too.
And inexpensive. Yeah. And, unfortunately, the air flights and all that's changed. Back in the day, I used to just take it on. They used to have a little closet up in front by the pilot, and they'd stick it in there, and I'd go to my seat. Now, many times you have to check it.
Oh, no. I take fly rods all the time on
That's
the planes, and I
great.
just put them in the overhead.
Really? As a carry-on?
As a 4-piece fly rod.
Oh, that's
A
great.
9-piece 4-weight. It's what, 32, 34,
Mhm.
32 inches probably, something like that. It's not a problem. taking them through TSA, whatever. Going south in Mexico, I don't know.
Right.
Because it might be different regulations when you cross the border and go out of CBX or something like that. But in the U.S., take fly rods all the time.
Yeah, that's the odd thing. Going down, no problem on the plane with it just in my seat next to me, and then coming back, they made me check it. So you're right. You never really know
Mexico.
what the rules
But in the
are gonna
U.S., if you're traveling with a rod in the U.S., you're good.
Can I tell you this? In Mexico, you're not allowed to carry that on, period.
Oh, is that right?
Period. You have to check it in.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that for
a fact.
Yeah, personal.
Yeah. So if you're flying out of LAX, like
that's true.
Joseph is doing today,
yeah,
or you're flying out of San Diego Airport,
yeah,
like you say, on the way down, you're good because you're on the U.S. carrier. But when
coming
you're
back.
coming back, you're going through Mexico customs.
And I've got a tip for John from Escondido as well. Revert right back to Johnny at Dana Landing. They have an entire gondola full of travel rods. Like you can go in and check them all out
at Dana Landing.
At Dana Landing in Mission Bay.
That's great.
Oh, yeah.
Like
no, they have great travel, and like because they have multiple manufacturers. Like Phoenix makes some great travel rods. Akuma Daiwa makes great travel rods,
and
several of them. Make
and like Bill mentioned, they're inexpensive. But
I know
inexpensive,
Shimano makes some great travel rods too.
But inexpensive today does not mean a weekend travel rod. They are superior and they're very good. The Farrells
come a long way.
Oh,
a long way.
Rods.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, we're going to be right back on Let's Talk more of the surf fishing talk. Having so much fun.
Report from Baja too.
And there it comes when we come back on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
When you're pursuing big game fish, the right gear is essential. Not just the rod, reel, and line, but the right pair of binoculars too. So upgrade your gear to the best pair of Fujinon stabilized binoculars from Baker Marine. Baker Marine has been selling binoculars for decades, and more importantly, they service all brands right there at their San Diego Shelter Island location. Need the best? Fujinon Stabiscopes are the professional's choice. Looking for top-tier stabilization at a great price? The Fujinon Techno Staby TSX 1440s deliver rock-steady vision even in rough waters, perfect for serious anglers. Baker Marine is the largest Fujinon retailer on the West Coast, and when you buy from them, they'll be there when your binoculars need service. Plus, they'll give you a great price on all in-stock Fujinon binoculars. Stop by their store on Shelter Island in San Diego and test a pair of Fujinon binoculars and see which ones are right for you. They even have compact and lightweight Fujinon stabilized binoculars for your next vacation or hunting trip. You know you need a pair of stabilized binoculars, so get them from the experts at Baker Marine. Learn more at bakermarine.com.
Captain Jamie Tennis from Seasoned Sport Fishing here. For the past few seasons, a dart-style metal jig has come into play in a big way for tuna offshore or even rockfish down deep. AFCO's crossbreed jig has quickly become the go-to for many since it came onto the market. AFCO's crossbreed jig is good to go right out of the package with a 4X treble hook, heavy-duty split rings, West Coast colors, and sizes 60 gram to 120 gram. Pick one up today at your local tackle store or learn more on afco.com.
Hi, this is Christy Wheeler with Dawson and Associates Insurance, your full-service agency specializing in boat insurance, including charter, commercial, and personal use boats, business insurance, and travel insurance. We work hard to get you the most coverage for the best prices and guarantee the lowest rates available on all the travel plans we offer. So give us a call today at Dawson and Associates Insurance at 619-460-5615 for a free quote today.
The reels that Southern California anglers have been waiting for are here. Shimano is proud to introduce the all-new Talica 40A and 50A reels. The Talica series is Shimano's flagship 2-speed lever drag reel. It sits at the very pinnacle of the offshore world. Shimano has increased the fishability of the larger Talica models by reducing rotational resistance at high drag and improving durability in critical positions within the reel. The all-new Talica 40A and 50A now boast Infinity Drive, which employs 2 drag washers housed on the side of the reel, allowing for an ultra-smooth, powerful drag system, while at the same time increasing winding power under a load by as much as 40%. The new Talica is built around a more compact, cold-forged machine aluminum one-piece frame. Plus, there's also a new higher high gear built with a Southern California angler in mind. The new Talica 40 and 50A are available now at your local Shimano dealer.
Take a closer look at the Ford Bronco and Bronco Sport. You'll see adventure, discovery, and even a little mud. These 4x4s provide the muscle, tech, and durability to go anywhere. Get your ideal combination of power and capability to handle whatever comes your way with the GOAT modes. That's goes over any terrain. It's time to see Ford in a new light. New inventory has arrived. Visit your San Diego County Ford dealer to take a test drive today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. And I mean, if having Bill in studio in the world headquarters wasn't fun enough, man, we've got
super fun. Yeah. And if you want to get through on the phone, there's a line open. Kyle standing by 833-288-0973. We've got Chris Moyers from Smokey's Curing Company in Cantina. He was a little bit late because he was supposed to be here yesterday, but you were traveling, right? Yeah, right, Chris?
Pedro, Corey, Bill, buenos dias.
Buenos dias, amigo. How's life in the Escape?
Listen, I apologize. Just I was traveling, but as they say, mejor tarde que nunca.
See, we're glad you're here.
Yeah. So anyway, great show, guys. Always interesting to hear Bill. Love it. So yeah, guys, we had a pretty good week of fishing this past week on the East Cape. We only saw really one day of the north wind, so that was nice. The winds calmed down a little bit, and the tuna bite's still going on, and close in right there off La Ribera to the south, maybe 3-4 miles right there at the bank there, and also close in off Pescadero. Real close, I'd say within a couple miles of shore. So that's cool to see that, and mostly sardinas, I would say cedar plugs and hoochies, and Anival there at the dock at Palmas usually has calamari available, so you can always chunk that and try to get some tuna that way. The billfish bite's still going off, man. It's been really consistent all year. We're seeing stripers, blues, and sailfish galore. So the anglers that want to target those are having a lot of luck there. And for that, just any trolling lure, and also the ballyhoo. Ballyhoos work real well too. And say small skipjack for the blues. We saw quite a bit more Dorado this past week, which was really encouraging, and some were pretty decent size in the 30 to 40 pound range. It's not wide open by any means, but basically just heading out and trying to find the shark buoys off Pescadero there, and having a lot of luck there, as well as right there, right off La Ribera too at the bank there, about 4 miles offshore. So that was good. Another encouraging thing this week was, I think we were in probably up to like 20 wahoo this past week. So that was really cool to see that. And so that's again right there, La Ribera and Pescadero too, to the north. So close in there. Good week of fishing, guys. The tuna bite was, it's a little bit slower than it's been, but still plenty of fish out there. And the weather's beautiful. We're out of the storm season, so we've got the Western Outdoors Tuna Jackpot coming up next weekend. So that should be an exciting tournament. I mean, because there's some big tuna out there, down towards probably Gordo Banks and down there. So we'll hopefully see some real good action there.
Fantastic. Wow. Sounds like fun, and still great time of the year to be down on the East Cape. I'm sure we were just talking about those pickleball courts over at Palmas. They're probably all full and pickleballing like crazy, huh?
Oh yeah. It's crazy to see, that place go off. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. And, there's also, there's a couple pickleball resorts now, but yeah, it's real busy down
Crazy.
there. So
yeah,
it's great to see.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I'm sure last night with the Dodgers, the Curing Smokey's restaurant was rocking, huh?
Smoking.
Oh my gosh. It was out of control. And I would say two of the best. Okay. So if I would have had to choose teams, I would have either for how many fans we have, it would have been either the Padres or the Dodgers, because that's the most of fans in the National League. And then I would have said the Mariners or Toronto, because we have a huge contingent of Pacific Northwest gringos down there.
Oh, sure.
And also the Canadians. So, it was on. It was North versus South last night.
Wow.
And what a series, and what a great game. And it was just going like, it was crazy. And, we've got 19 TVs, and Pedro, you saw the construction we're doing. We're almost done with the craft cocktail bar. So that's going to add another 6 TVs. And so we'll be up to 25, and then I think we'll add 4 more on the parking lot. I'm in the patio adjacent to the parking lot. So hopefully by NFL playoffs all the way up to about 29.
Wow, that's crazy. TV's everywhere.
The place to be.
Yeah, that was it was. I forgot about the Canadian contingency down there. So yeah, it must have been rocking
That's
both
right.
sides there, and two phenomenal teams and one phenomenal series. And congratulations to both teams, and of
Absolutely.
course the LA
Yeah.
Dodgers for the repeat too. So
Wow.
amazing for sure.
Yep, it was a great game.
Yeah.
It was a great game.
Definitely. Hey, Chris, how do we find you? We want to book Vaquera or come down to Smokies or any of your great stuff.
Well, get a hold of me by cell always is best, 858-231-1358. You can reach me via email at BajaSmokeDog with 2 G's at Gmail, or get a hold of me at VaqueraSportFishing.com, and we can take care of anything you need to go down in East Cape.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot, Chris. Appreciate the report, and we'll talk to you next Saturday.
Yes, Saturday.
All right, buddy. All right.
He always
Thanks a lot
puts-
for covering today.
He always puts me in the mood,
All
Pete.
right.
I want to be right there and join a cerveza.
Yeah.
Hey, have some breakfast.
Such
go,
an awesome place.
Go surf fishing. Have you ever surf fished down there, Bill?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm
Right
into it.
right
Right
on
in
the
front
beach
of Palmas is actually
Yeah.
pretty good. And if
Yeah.
you go down to the would be toward to the right toward Rancho Leonero, there's a little boat ramp there that has a rocky area around it that has some really good grouper fishing
Really?
from shore.
See, I want
right
to.
there.
That's what I want to go do. I want to go
Yeah.
just spend a few
Walk
days
the beach.
and walk the beach, enjoy
And
the
this
time,
is the perfect time of the year to do that.
enjoy the time with the family.
Yeah.
But I can go do my surf fish thing and just
Absolutely.
hang out. Hang
And
out
what
at
do you
Smokies.
use down there, Bill?
I use a number of different things. So, for example, if I'm fishing over a reef down there, over a
Yeah.
rocky area, I want to suspend my bait because I don't want to use a sinker and have it hung up instantly. So I use a water-filled bobber with maybe a 7-foot leader or so on it, and then bait on the bottom of that. And of course, there's a lot of
Like
sand
what kind of
crabs
bait?
down there.
Sand crabs.
There
Sand
is.
crabs. If you know where to look for them,
Like we have up here.
like we have up here. The only difference with the ones down there is they're a light white color with
Oh.
black spots on them, and
Really?
their legs are about this long. They have these 1.5-inch legs on them,
Like a little bit longer.
much longer.
much
Yeah,
longer.
maybe 3 times the length of the legs that are on the crabs we have up here.
Interesting.
And they're the same shape, basically a little bit more round. So those are the tropical sand crabs, and I found those everywhere from here to Aruba to Fiji. Every place that I've been in
Wow.
a tropical environment. So those are there. There's always cut pieces of fish at all, just go up to Smokies and get some leftovers from them cleaning fish. You can use some of that for bait, and then any kind of lure. When I was down there a few months ago, all the boats were in the morning at the Palmas dock, and they were getting their passengers on, and they were getting their bait from the bait guys at the same time. Well, when all the boats left, the bait guys had bait left over, which they can't save. So they began to scoop it out right off the beach, maybe 20 feet off the beach. And the ocean came alive.
Come on.
And there were 4 guys. There was one young man, about 15 years old, a local boy there on the beach
That knew the pattern.
that knew what was going on, and there were 4 guys out in kayaks, and all of them got hooked up. The guys in the kayaks, 3 of them got Dorado. One of them had a really nice size roosterfish and lost it. But the young man on the beach got about a 35-pound roosterfish, and he was
Come
fighting
on.
it up and down the beach. Then he made his way out onto the dock, and it was taking him for a ride. So one of the bait boats came over, and they allowed him to jump in the bait boat. He fought this fish. He
Wow.
got it up to the boat. They brought the boat back into the dock. He threw it up on the dock. He got on the phone because I walked over there to take a picture of him,
Yeah.
and he was talking to his mom. In 5 minutes, his mom drove the car down on the beach, opened up the back of the car with the ice chest. They threw it in. They both jumped in and drove away.
Oh, wow.
What a story.
So
But
they're
you can-
eating roosterfish?
They're eating the roosterfish.
Oh,
Now, I would love to have asked him how to prepare it, of
yeah.
course.
That's almost sounds like a sign of desperation.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the young man was so excited. The
Yeah.
look on his face, the excitement that he had.
I want to go
He was
do that.
hooked.
That I want to hang out at
catching a
Smokies.
rooster. I've done it.
Yeah.
Catching a big roosterfish on the
Yeah.
beach. I did it with Gary Barnes Webb at Rancho Leonero. Unbelievable.
Nothing
Phenomenal.
like
Yeah,
it.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a great text here from Mark in Buena Park. He says, guys, get to see what you have to offer in the world of sport fishing every Saturday and Sunday. Keep up the good work. Appreciate that. Bill, I'm getting into fishing the fly in the surf. Can you talk a little bit about the technique to look for? So it looks like a lot of fun when you can't find sand crabs.
Absolutely. One of the surf fishing reporters who reports to me out of Ventura on a regular basis, almost exclusively fishes flies in the surf. He is probably the most successful Corbina fisherman in the Ventura area. So you got him versus all the bait guys. He puts them to shame. And what does he use? He uses sand crab flies that are tied that look, of course, just like a sand crab. Lee Bowerman is a flyfishthesurf.com is his website. He ties the most unbelievable surf fishing flies that you've ever seen. And so those are very common, and also a really common way to fish the fly in the surf is on your spin rod using the Carolina rig and a little longer leader. I would say maybe up to 36-inch leader, and then tying the fly, whether it's a Clouser minnow in a chartreuse and white or red and white Clouser minnow, a deceiver, those same colors, or these sand crab looking baits. And then there's also some worms that they've tied that are both red, pink, and green or olive green worms that all work as flies exceptionally well in the surf. Now, the fly fishing in the surf, there's two things that you're fighting against. A is the wind. So if it's breezy in the afternoon, you're not going to be fly fishing.
You're
in the
messed
surf.
up.
Yeah, because you can't get the offshore.
Right.
And then part B is your back cast. So if you're at a popular beach like Bolsa Chica State Beach and there's people on the beach, if you have a back cast, you can't fly fish there. So early in the morning, in the evening, that's the time to get down there.
I used to do a lot of fly fishing on the beach. And you want a 9-foot rod with a 250 grain sink tip line.
Okay.
So it's actually a striper line is ideal.
Okay.
A 250 grain striper line is ideal for doing that. And then a lot of times a Clouser minnow, like a chartreuse and white Clouser minnow, is perfect in the surf. And catch a lot of, and the Corbina love it.
I can't believe how many halibut I've seen caught on the chartreuse and white.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. But it's fun.
And then
They
the
eat
last thing that Pete needs is a stripping basket.
You do need a stripping basket because otherwise your line is all over your legs, right?
That's right.
Wrapping around.
And the stripping basket could be something as simple as a dish strainer with a belt around it.
Right.
Yeah. Or something fancy that they make too. But it doesn't
Exactly.
really matter. Just something to put the line in.
Because when that line's wrapped around your legs and the set of the day comes in and you can't run backwards, you're in trouble.
You're in big trouble. Yeah.
Not a
you have
good
another
thing.
great text?
I do, Pete. And this is good morning, gentlemen. For Bill V, do you still do surf fishing seminars live on the beach? And if so, where can I find the schedule for 2026? Thanks, from Jim in Morro Bay.
Thank you, Jim, for asking that question. Boy, Morro Bay was one of my very favorite places to do surf fishing seminars on the sand.
I know people that went from the LA area up there just for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And man, did we have fun.
Yeah.
Because, it's not only a surf fishing event that we do in the morning and we maybe end up around 11, but of course we met later in the day because everybody was staying at the hotels and off we were for a cocktail party and dinner. And it's a lot of fun. So on my site, fishthesurf.com, under the seminar tab, all the dates will come up around the middle of April. The reason it takes me so much time to get the dates up there is that any beach in Southern California that you want to do a seminar on, that you have more than 9 people, 10 or more people, you need a permit for that. So I have to apply and pay for the permits. It takes the state about 2 months to approve my permits.
2 months.
Normally they do, and then we can schedule it. So most likely the one I know we'll have for sure will be right around the end of July at Bolsa Chica State Beach. It's a fantastic place in Huntington Beach to go surf fishing. Really good surf fishing there. But just keep your eye on the site, and around April 15, all the dates will be up there.
Fishthesurf.com.
Fishthesurf.com.
Yeah, for sure. And you'll have all the information on there. Can you sign up on the website too?
Yes, you can sign up on the website there for sure. And these are all CCA sponsored events.
What does it cost usually for somebody to
Well, we ask for a donation of $35. We don't require anybody
Yeah.
to pay. We do encourage people who don't have the ability to pay, and certainly bring in their kids to come. Anybody under 16, there's no charge for your children.
Are there
And
giveaways or?
we have all kinds of Gamakatsu stuff to give away. We
Cool.
provide all the bait, all the instruction. We have coffee gallons of coffee.
Yeah.
We have dozens of donuts.
Wow.
So we meet at about 6:15 in the morning.
And all the proceeds go to CCA.
And the proceeds go to CCA.
Oh,
Exactly.
Super cool.
Yeah.
And it hopefully will encourage people to get out there and join and learn about surf fishing.
Yeah, enjoy the resource we
But
have
yeah.
right in our backyard.
So when's the
Absolutely.
next one, do you think?
So probably the last weekend in July will be the next one, but most likely we'll hopefully have one earlier than that, beginning
the
in
spring?
May. Yeah, in spring.
Okay.
When the beaches are a little bit less crowded than that time of year. But
Yeah.
but yeah, we meet in the morning about 6:15. We have coffee and donuts. We have about a 15-minute seminar, then down to the sand to fish.
Wow. I want to tell you about a great place to go fishing. Katmai Lodge in Alaska.
Oh my God.
I've been there several times. It is a dream trip come true. 2 spots just opened up. This trip has been sold out for
Pete,
months.
it's sold out
months.
before the
before
next
it
year
even
even
gets
comes.
started.
Yeah.
But the 2 people had to cancel. Our trip is July 15th through 22. I'm going this year. Tommy P even signed up this year, so
no.
I'm going. I can't wait to get back to Katmai. Harold's going. Harold Davis will be there. It's really a fantastic trip. So if you want to go, check out katmai.com, KATMAI.com. 2 spots available on that Katmai Lodge trip, July 15th through 22, which is the absolute #1 prime time to go because you catch sockeye, you catch chum salmon, you catch king salmon, you'll catch trout, you'll catch kind of everything that's in the Alagnac there for sure.
It was the one trip that Brandon was more fired up
my
about
gosh.
than El Salto.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, we're going to be right back. We're going to find out who's won these 2 calendars. Such a fun time with Bill Varney. When we return on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Everyone has their go-to fishing spot. My spot is Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. Rock Cod Rick here to say if you're looking for the ultimate Alaska experience and the best value in Alaska, it's Kingfisher Charters. Owner Seth Bone and his crew consistently deliver deluxe accommodations, the finest food, world-class fish processing, and top-of-the-line fishing experience. We've literally sent hundreds of our listeners to Kingfisher, and they all can't wait to go back. Most Alaska resorts make big promises, and they don't deliver, or they'll nickel and dime you to drive up the cost, but not Kingfisher. Everything is included. Your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, your gear. Literally all you need to bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. They also have the finest boats and charter captains in Sitka, all for the ultimate value. Take it from me. Book your trip to Kingfisher Charters and you'll thank me. Kingfisher Charters. 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
I believe there is no doubt that the finest sport fishing in the world starts right here in San Diego. This is Captain Frank Lepresti. Our fleet of long-range boats and crew are unmatched, and the Royal Polaris and Shogun are right at the top of the list. Captain Jonathan Yamati and his crew aboard the Royal Polaris are considered to be the finest long-range vessel in the world. From summer bluefin, yellowtail, and wahoo to giant yellowfin tuna, our record is unmatched. The Shogun, under the direction of Captain Rene Monteagudo, has become one of the most popular long-range boats in the fleet. This big, wide, solid riding vessel has gained a reputation for catching fish and treating their customers to an epic vacation on the water. I am so proud of Jonathan, Rene, and the crews on both the Royal Polaris and Shogun, as they have helped me keep the reputation of the premier vessels in the long-range fleet. Come see for yourself. Book a trip on the Royal Polaris or Shogun today. Check RoyalPolarisSportFishing.com or ShogunSportFishing.com or call Monica or Jen in the office at 619-226-8030.
Enter into fall with powerful deals on new Yamaha outboards during Yamaha's Fall into Savings sales event. From now until December 8th, 2025, purchase a new eligible Yamaha 30 to 450 horsepower outboard and get up to 7 years of coverage protection plus up to $500 in dealer credit for 150 to 450 horsepower outboards. Looking for lower horsepower? Yamaha's got you covered. Purchase a new eligible Yamaha 2.5 to 25 horsepower outboard and receive up to $700 in dealer credit. Visit your local Yamaha dealer today. Yamaha, reliability starts here. Offer ends December 8th, 2025. Subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models exclude 24 or 36-month Yamaha extended service contract added to factory limited warranty. Choice offer to Florida residents is a 24 or 36-month Yamaha limited warranty. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
Many years ago, Baja pioneer Bob Van Wormer found the area he called the Great Fish Trap in the East Cape of southern Baja and built what is now regarded as the premier East Cape resorts of Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Today, following in their father's footsteps, Bob's sons, Bobby, Chucky, and Eddie, have taken Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol to new levels with the largest sport fishing fleet in Mexico, a luxurious spa, and top-of-the-line resort amenities. Van Wormer Resorts have become a destination for travelers worldwide. But for us, Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol are just a short 2-hour flight away. No other tropical fishing destination offers the experience and value that you'll find at Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Now you can plan your Baja fishing vacation quick and easy by visiting VanWormerResorts.com. And when you're ready to book, it's quick and easy. Or simply call 877-777-TUNA for more information. Van Wormer Resorts, the East Cape's finest.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. I have to say the funnest 2 hours, fastest 2 hours on radio.
Fastest 2 hours.
Two
It's so
winners
great.
today. Our caller today, Chuck in Long Beach, won the calendar, and our texter Jim in Thousand Palms. Congratulations!
You're going to be receiving a calendar from Bill. He's going to ship them to you as soon as
Absolutely.
he has them in his hand.
They'll probably get them by next weekend.
Next weekend, okay.
Right on their doorstep.
Be ready to go.
Absolutely.
For 2026.
I'm gonna
all
go
the
buy
tides
mine.
and stuff. And yeah, Bill, great job again. How do we find you? How do we get all the surf fishing information? How do we get a calendar? All that good
Thank
stuff.
you, Pete, so much for having me.
Yeah.
Fishthesurf.com is my educational site. Everything you need to learn about surf fishing. Surffishtackle.com, my little tackle store. And then I have taken all of my videos down off of YouTube and gone over to Rumble. So go to Rumble, RUMBLE.com, Fish the Surf, just in the search box. There's about 50 how-to videos on there, from everything from how to catch sand crabs and keep them alive to how to find fish on the beach.
Wow.
Check
cool.
it out.
Fantastic. All right. Thanks, Corey, for being here today. Appreciate you. And thank you all. Thanks to Kyle in the Fan Studios. And thanks to everybody out there. Next Saturday, Dwayne and Lewis from the San Diego Anglers going to be here. Super good guys. That's going to be fun. And next Sunday, Captain Brian Woolley from Dana War Sport Fishing. We'll see you back here, right here on 97.3 The Fan, Facebook, YouTube Live, and the Let's Talk Hookup app. Thanks for listening.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
Hi, this is Mason Miller.